Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Park and Recreation Commission meeting for April 26th, 2023. My name is Jim O'Connor, and I am the chair of the Park and Rec, and we're going to introduce ourselves. Mr. Corse?
David Corse.
Chuck Stackpole.
Bill Nicoletti.
Debbie Davis.
Steve Vesputa.
Dan Zapadka.
Deb Satonic.
Dan Lynch.
Welcome, everyone, and it's nice to have everyone here and have a quorum. We'll actually have to, I think, do the 2 months ago, we'll have to do those for both February and March, the minutes. So why don't we, public dialogue, it looks like there is no public here, probably because of the great Fred Wolf Commission has eliminated our guests, possibly for the time being, till we go through that. They'll probably be back in a few months, and we'll have our next set of things we'll have to work on down there. So why don't we look at our minutes for both February and March, and let's see, do I have a motion for the February minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Let's look if there's any additions, deletions, corrections.
The second page,
Second page, Deb.
line above the chairman's report. I didn't review the aquatic report. I don't know who did, Jim or Dan.
Was that last month?
February,
No,
the one
February.
before.
You were here.
The one you were here.
You were here, so you did.
So it must have been you.
Yeah,
It was Dan.
Sorry.
that's,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Little thing.
It's good. Got that. Anything else? Okay, so we have a motion, we have it seconded. All in favor to approve the February minutes? Aye. Let's go to the March. Okay, we got an abstention in Chuck. March minutes, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Steve, second. Anyone. It's all right, thanks. Will, let's do Bill's the second. Any changes, deletions? There was a few, just a few of us here. We had Bill, we had Bill, Deb, and Steve and I.
Yeah,
And Chris did a wonderful job. I just want to comment. We're very lucky to have Chris. It was nice to have him here. Chris does an outstanding job for a lot of avenues for us, and he stepped up very well, Dan.
Good,
So
good. Thank you.
we appreciate him coming.
Sure.
Nothing. So all in favor?
Aye.
I approve.
Sorry, there was one thing.
Yep, go ahead.
I think I was absent there.
Yep,
and
you
I'm
were
not there.
Okay, so let's add Mr. Corazon. The absence. Okay, good. Okay, let's move now to, we have old business, questions from previous meeting. Dan, anything?
Chris said everything. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I wasn't here, but if there's anything that you thought needed to be brought up, Chris went over everything with me. It didn't seem like anything was pertinent for me to bring up tonight, except for when I do my report tonight, my director's report. But
Perfect.
that was about it. The things that were brought up about the lacrosse field have all been taken care of.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much all he reported back to me. So
Light on?
yes,
Thank you.
Yep. no problem. So yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty simple. It was nice to, Chris talked to us, because the day-to-day, it's nice to actually see what Chris does. Steve usually, spends a lot of time with Chris during the year, but Chris does a lot of different things that we never know about. So it was really, really informative for me, at least, so.
how's the new, computer system?
Yeah.
Good?
I'll go over it in the director's report. It's
All right.
it's going over well. New for everybody, for our staff, which we're getting more accustomed to, and the people, the users, are using it. There's been some glitches here and there, some things that we've had to take care of and clean up, but for the most part, not many complaints about the online registration. People like it.
good.
It's user friendly. Again, there's been some mistakes that had to be fixed and cleaned up.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff on our end that we're dealing with Rec Desk on our own that we're questioning or we need help with, or some stuff we're suggesting to them that could be improved on their end as well, maybe.
Yep.
And then, you know, it's a whole learning process. I think we were saying earlier before the meeting started, I think over the next couple different registration sessions, I think you're gonna see more people leaning towards the online. There were still people in line at both of our registrations.
Yeah.
But as they were waiting in line, they were talking to people in line, and they did it right on their phone, and they were gone by the time they would get to us at the desk, so. There are still some people that like to come into the office, so, I mean, that's what we're there for.
Yeah.
But now you have the option of online, and it's,
We're
It's
taking
nice.
credit cards online? Is that what
yeah,
the payment
do
was?
that too, yep. There is a percentage charge that you get hit with, 3%
Yeah,
charge.
yeah, we don't take the hit on it. They do, yeah, just like anything.
So some people are still coming in and paying by check or cash, because you're not getting hit there. But that's just, that came with this software company offered, so, and that's what most online registrations
Yeah.
and in-person registrations.
Yeah.
Convenience fees, but everybody was made well aware of it, they know about it. Some people don't care, some people do. I mean, it's just like anything in life, but people are getting used to it, and, just to give you an example, the day we started Travel and Teens registration, we started at 8:30, online at 8:30. One of the weeks was full at 8:33. So we had to people that were waiting in line,
Yeah.
you just had to yell out and say, week 2 is full. People are like,
Oh, man.
so that's pretty quick. 3 minutes that's fast. So, yeah,
That's awesome.
It makes it easier on the staff, too.
Yeah.
yeah,
A lot easier.
Yeah, 3 minutes for
3
45
minutes.
spots, right?
40
40
spots,
spots.
and that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's fast.
That's, now you know why Taylor Swift costs so much. Yeah, exactly. And it's probably going to take a full year for, you know, because each cycle will look a little bit different. With camp coming up will look one way, traveling teams look another way. Yeah, everything will be new, so every cycle we go through we'll probably have to learn. But there was a big outcry in the public for this, especially just the way the parents now and the children do things and have. We were a little bit cautious to the game, and now we're in the game and we're going with the flow. So we're here, and it's very good.
And the one thing, and I'll give my report now on this, on the new online registration and our new recreation software, but a lot of people just that are at home watching this tonight, or if you hear or watch it later on, just when you're putting your household in the system, just take your time. It's very user-friendly. Which parent you want to make the head of the household is fine, but then you add new members to your household. There's a button right there, you just click on it, and that's where you add your children. Unfortunately, a lot of people early on, especially with Travel and Teens registration, were signing themselves up for traveling teens instead of their children. So that was one of the little problems, but people have cleaned it up. And just when you're setting up your household for your family, just take your time with it. If you have any questions, you can always call the office. We'll guide you through it. It's pretty simple, but you got.
So what are you saying? You don't want me going on traveling teens, Dan?
I said, if I could have set up my household, which I did for my family,
Anyone can. Yeah, that would be the case with me. Okay, so let's go to new business. Let's do grounds and facilities. Steve?
The guys are back cutting grass, lining the fields, full crew. Everything seems to be going good.
Busy time of year.
Busy.
Dan, have Chris get a load of processed or road grindings and fill the pothole in at Turkey Hill Preserve. It's big. He needs probably 2 or 3 yards.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, no problem. I'll let them know.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, personnel is usually me. Dan will do that and talk about the update with the seasonal workers. They should be all on, as Chris talked about last month.
Yep.
Budget, let's take a look. We do our superficial look for 30 seconds in the budget. Usually looks, We should be probably 80% right now, 85%
Probably
spent.
a couple things in there that
Yeah.
are negative, but it's been covered and taken care of.
Yeah, and
Just
not
so you
even
guys
big.
know, we got our budget sheets back for the upcoming year, and the Board of Finance was very helpful and friendly with our budget. Everything that I requested, and I didn't have much increase, but one thing I did increase was under field improvements, because I really wanted to touch up they're the practice fields, but it's the fields we use for our men's softball league. They haven't been touched up in a while, but
These ones back here?
the one at Mariel, here behind the school, we use for softball. The
Good.
one behind High Plains.
Good.
And the one at Peck.
That's awesome.
So
Dan.
we're gonna be adding some clay to these fields as the season goes on and try to spruce them up and get them back to where they need to be.
Good.
But everything else, we were approved for, so, the budget under Park and Rec is fine with me.
Thank you to the Board of
And
Finance.
thank you
That's,
to
yeah.
all them, because they
Yeah.
put in a lot of time and effort with that.
Yeah,
as well, so.
I talked with Mr. McNabola, and I
Yes.
thanked him personally.
Yep,
So that's fantastic.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Dan, you're up.
Okay.
Director's report.
you got it. Okay, I went over the whole thing with our new rec desk, recreation software system. Like I said, there's all new to everybody, including staff and our users at home and residents of the town that still want to come in person. But like you said, it's gonna take a few cycles of registration seasons to get through this. And again, those at home, those creating your households for your family, if you haven't signed up for a program yet, just take your time with it. And it's pretty user-friendly in that regard, so make sure you add all your children and yourself and your correct information in that. If you have any questions, you can always contact us in the office. Okay, and those registrations did start on April 3rd. Those were for spring programs, swim lessons, and day camp. That was April 3rd. And the Travel and Teens program registration started on the 17th. Like I said, that first day, we started taking registration at 8:30, and week 2 was full by 8:33 a.m. So that's pretty amazing. Under parks, our grounds crew began working right at the beginning of April. Stephanie Middleton, our day camp director, is doing interviews now for day camp staff for this upcoming summer. So those people will be hired by the mid to end of May. Camp will be starting on June 19th this year and going through August 11th, believe it or not. Okay, there's an aquatics report and a programs report. I will go through those quickly as well. If you have any questions at the end, I'll be happy to answer them. Under Sue's aquatic report, she's preparing to teach a number of classes this spring. CPR classes for the school nurses and OVNA nurses, 3 recertification courses for staff and area guards with expiring certifications, and a lifeguard training course for new guards. This is hopefully gonna bring some extra staff for us for the pool as well for the summer season. Our lessons started on April 17th. We are 95% full for every class again. The schedule will be a bit different for the summer and camp, so we're looking to hire a few more instructors and guards. And as Sue, who did a lot of work with this online registration for us, as well as Lynn and Stephanie, the online registration for swimming lessons seemed to go very well for the most part, and for the families. And I was surprised, because the swimming registration was a lot better than I thought. The places where we struggled with registration was traveling teens, which I was shocked. But swimming has been pretty good.
Oh, good.
And like Sue put in here too, we're still working out some of the kinks with the provider and our IT department, so, it'll all come together.
Yeah.
Under programs, our men's softball league will be starting, next week on Monday. Weather does not look good. I already looked, and,
It's our luck, isn't it?
last year, the first 2 weeks, we were rained out too, and, looks like it's gonna be the first week rained out again this year. We'll see, maybe it'll change. I already went over to spring registration, traveling teens registration. We had an April vacation camp this year. It went very well. Stephanie Middleton oversaw it, put together a great week of activities, and oversaw the staff. And our fitness room still remains open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Memberships for the pool and fitness room are still taken in the office. And the yearly memberships will renew again on July 1st, as always.
Great.
Anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions? Oh, nice.
One other thing, and I'm just gonna let you guys know, and I've been talking to Jim Zioli about it as well as Jimmy, just so you know, all the organizations in town, Orange Little League, Orange Soccer, and the Boys and Girls Youth Lacrosse, are all gonna be requested by me and the Park and Rec Department that they send in a copy of their certificate of insurance for their organizations as well as their bank statements. Just so we have them on file in our office and our department, just for future use. And just letting you guys know that the email is gonna be going out to the groups. We're not asking much.
Yeah.
It's just something that we have to cover all the groups and cover our department and just see where they stand.
Yeah, and to add to that, I've been working with both Jim and Dan. We're going to keep an active binder at Park and Rec for each group. Also, because even last month when we had youth lacrosse, we also are going to ask them for a list of their executive officers so that we know who to contact, and a list of their bylaws to have in the back. And right now, that's where, and we might update when they come. That's the binder that the commission can have, and Dan has that active. So then we make sure the insurance is up to date, the executive officers are up to date, because that changes every year, and it shouldn't be our responsibility to track down who's in charge over there. That should be ebb and flow. And so a binder at Park and Rec, and Dan will obviously will manage this. But what it's really worked through is in our work over at Fred Wolf Park has looked at that we have a lot of moving parts as a town, and there are a lot of active people, and we have a lot of requests. So we need to be able to coordinate and stay organized and have a process. So Dan's going to send out an email, and that will be part of our request every year. We request that they come and give us updates. Now we're going to go one step farther, be a little more organized and more systematic.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. You need the contact information.
Yeah.
And the insurance information.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my line of work. I know who all these directors are and these people that oversee these leagues. But we need to have it more organized where we know.
You're not here.
Because there is some changeover once in a while, but with Little League, there is, change every 2-3 years.
And Little League is organized pretty much, I'd say because they have a national organization.
National organization, that's it.
And so that allows for the coherence between the different organizations. It's more at the lacrosse level right now that we're working with them, because we have, unlike most towns, where they have an executive board that covers both the boys and girls together, we have two separate organizations. We're not getting in the middle of that, but they have two different organizations that, are right now, are using the fields, and we're trying to create, some processes so everything is equal. It's a work in progress.
No, it's a good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. Well,
We should have that.
this has all come out of, and listen, it's Jim Zioli's been fantastic in this. I will tell you, it's all come from, Tom Paisano has some concerns, and they're very valid, a lot of them. And we have to have a process of how we can address those. Mm-hmm. And I think the selectmen, and especially the first selectman, created this Fred Wolf committee. And John Carangelo has just been exceptional beyond belief in leading this. We are right now at a place where we have 3. We were approved from the selectmen a month ago to go out to get a consultant and get a study done. We put out an RFP that was approved by the selectmen. We've now had 3 organizations that have done site visits at Fred Wolf Park, and they have presented proposals. We are going to be reviewing those proposals in the next month or so. That's really the first step of a long-term plan at Fred Wolf. As you see, if you go down there, the playground is about 60% in. It looks fantastic. It's really impressive. It's nice. you know, the place is the place. We also have the entrance is exceptional, and we're going to have multiple entrances, multiple egresses. We're looking, really, the first part is to have more access to the entire facility is part of it. We did a full tour. One of the things we did realize is, you know, Chris Small can't do everything, and the organizations have different agendas and different times, and we need the same level of care on our fields. You look at soccer fields, the lacrosse fields should look the same, plain and simple. And we worked with the first selectman, and that's the bottom line. The fertilization, the irrigation, which we take up. We take a lot of the brunt of the fields here in town. Irrigation's expensive, and the town picks up that. And that's why we have an agreement. So we have different things going on in different fields, and the first selectman has taken a really, really good firsthand approach of supporting it, supporting the organizations, and we've moved to where Fred Wolf, you know, which will be an exceptional, you know, facility when we're done. And I think we do believe that we can also get some state funds that will have access. We've talked to a number of people. John's really already started out networking, so we're going to have some good additions to that facility in the next couple of years, and it really will be awesome.
So, Jim, we did a study on that probably, what, 5, 10 years ago?
It's now 6.5,
Okay.
actually, yes. We did a study.
So is any of that reusable? We
It's
surveyed the whole property.
So it
is
was,
that
yeah,
correct?
so that was brought to the committee. The committee did take a look at that first, and that was the basis. But really, this committee, the approach, it was a little bit different. Parking and access to the fields has become a priority of getting in and out. Our studies focused in on one entrance, getting in off Peck. We now have multiple. We're going to be looking at multiple entrances and exits when we're done, without Peck really being probably a choice, just because of feasibility. And we also are looking at, we want a central, you know, I don't know what it will be, a facilities shed, or, you know, overlook. It could be a lot of different things, concessions, bathrooms. They're looking at all different things in that as well, and helping to support access to the fields for our senior citizens, you know, our parents, having appropriate parking, not just the way we are right now. We're a haphazard way we get in there. So it's looking at things that we don't really we focused in on adding fields, which is also a piece of the puzzle, but it's really at the next level.
Yeah, well, it was all built around that entrance coming out
Yeah.
of Peck.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do that, so it changes the whole.
So it
landscape.
changed. So we.
But a lot of those things were included in that
Yes.
plan.
And
Facilities and.
the facilities are the ones we're looking at. So those type of things, the pickleball, the possible basketball, courts that were in there, where the tennis courts are. Yes, that's the foundation of ours. We gave that to every one of the consultants. So it's money well spent.
Okay. All
We
right,
just
good.
didn't wind up, being the basis of it, but it's definitely part of the facilities
Yeah.
report.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So the playground's going in now,
Yep.
and then what's next to that? Is
This,
the pickleball courts
well-
are going, or is that not in plan yet?
No, parking lots,
That's just,
paved,
Yep.
that's just parking?
yeah, it's a paved parking lot.
Yeah.
And one thing I forgot to mention, I saw kids on the slides on with cleats. No, they should change. Thank you, appreciate it. Yep, I saw kids on the slides with cleats, they should change into sneakers.
Yeah.
You know,
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
That's that's what you remember. You have
Well,
soccer.
Yeah, they're taped off, but people are using them.
Yeah, you're right. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning.
We
So,
do the same thing out here.
take your shoes off, please. Take the cleats off, because we have soccer and lacrosse up there, so that everybody's wearing
Yeah.
cleats. You're right. Yeah, that would be nice to maintain them, and I don't know when. when it's all done, then we'll officially open it, and
Yeah.
the playground
Probably
committee,
have a sign or something.
they'll have a ceremony and
Yeah.
everything, yeah.
For sure.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
So,
That's one
and
thing.
that's the next step, so the pickleball, plus also we're looking, he's still looking to finalize once, because they're doing some roads around town, so we're still getting some millings. So we're still gonna, our original opening of Fred Wolf, he's still widening it, and he's still working on that to widen it. We just didn't have enough in the fall of the millings to do the paving on that entrance. Plus, we have the new entrance over there that they widen. If you go down, it's wide, it's
Yeah,
open.
huge.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And I know that there is right now going to be use for the additional side field. I think the boys lacrosse is looking to use it from my last conversation. So there's gonna be use in all those fields. And it'll be taken care of with fertilizer and everything through those plans.
Should be.
Other piece that I worked with the superintendent. There was a question from a community member, which was a very good question. We have this all the time with the tennis courts down at Peck Place. The superintendent talked to the first selectman, just to give you guys an update. It's on the list. The fence will be taken down. They've talked to Donnie. Public Works is going to be involved, but that is a town responsibility, not a school responsibility. So the superintendent helped, because we do want to, right now, it wasn't a focus of this commission or Park and Rec to fix them, because you can't use them very much because of the safety and well-being of the school facilities. So the school then didn't know if it was ours, and the community member was asking, which was a great question. So Jim is putting it on his list, and the first selectman is going to take care of it. It's on the list to be done. So just an FYI.
To be done what? They're just taking the fence down?
Taking
and
the
just
fence
take the
down
fence
and
So no more tennis courts?
no more tennis
It's all
courts.
over.
It's all be done. It's
I
all
was over
done.
at these tennis courts there a couple weeks ago. They're still in great shape. They
Yeah.
held up really well
Yeah.
when we redid them.
Yeah, they did it top notch.
Yeah,
Top-notch
they did.
job.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Was
Yeah.
it 2 years?
Of course.
Top
Yeah.
notch
So
job
2 winters, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
for New England. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
always a
yeah.
problem.
No, they did a top. We knew they did it, and that's why. We have the plan also for down at Fred Wolf that there'll be more courts.
Yep.
There'll be also, I think we're talking about a basketball court
We'll be
down
using
there.
that same company again.
Yeah,
no
they
doubt.
did a great job, definitely.
So
Good.
And then actually, it's good you brought that up. It's like, it's 4 to 5 years, they come out and check it and make sure everything's all right, and if anything needs to be, repainted or taken care of, they'll do it.
Yeah, they still look brand new.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're-
Yeah,
There's
it's-
not a mark on them.
it's beautiful. And so that's, so I think, a lot of good input has been done on a lot of different facilities, and we're moving things along here,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
fantastic.
Good.
Any other questions from the commission? Okay. Yeah, this is a nice meeting, and everybody's enjoying the spring, I hope. And let's, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Chuck, first, second by Dave, all in favor? Aye, have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.